All right. Today I'm going to talk about argumentative writing. Writing. The topic is marine parks. This is a model essay. I'll talk about the key features of an argumentative essay. This paragraph is an introductory paragraph. Let me read it first. The issue of whether we should allow marine parks to stay open has been widely debated in our community recently. It's an important issue because it concerns fundamental moral and economic questions about the way we use our native wildlife. A variety of different arguments have been put forward about this issue. This essay will consider arguments for having marine parks and point to some of the problems with these views. It will then put forward reasons for the introduction of laws which prohibit these unnecessary and cruel institutions. The writer, the writer first, the writer first give the context, what the situation is, what the topic is, and then he also mentions that he's going to evaluate, arguments related to whether they should have marine parks or not. And then he also presents his point of view. He says that it will then put forward reasons for the introduction of laws which prohibit these unnecessary and cruel institutions. So he believes that, the institutions like marine parks are cruel. So this is his thesis statement. This can be taken as a hook because he's giving the introduction by giving the background. Now let me clear all of this and we'll go ahead. Let me add some students here. Okay, that's done. Let me clear all of this. It has been argued that dolphin parks provide the only opportunity for much of the public to see marine mammals. Smith, 1992, is quoting the one who said that, right? Most Australians, so this argument goes, live in cities and never get to see these animals. It is claimed that marine parks allow the average Australian to appreciate our marine wildlife. However, now here he is presenting the argument, opponent's argument, arguments which are against his point of view. His point of view is what? That such institutions should be prohibited, right? And this argument is against his point of view. So he's presenting first opponents opponents arguments, and then he is going to give his point of view or reject opponents arguments, refute it by presenting a logic or logics. For example, however, indicates that now he's presenting his point of view. As Smith states, dolphins, whales, and seals can be viewed in the wild at a number of places on the Australia coast. In fact, there are more places where they can be seen in the wild than places where they can be seen in captivity, in prison, right? Moreover, most Australians would have to travel less to get to these locations Then they would to get to the marine parks on the Gold Coast. In addition, places where there are wild marine mammals do not change and do not charge an exorbitant entry fee, they are free. So, firstly, he presented the opponent's point of view, and then he refuted their point of view by presenting his arguments. And see over here, he's using transitions like however, in fact, in addition, moreover, and these transitions actually bind the paragraph, okay, give the writing unity or the essay unity. It actually adds to the cohesiveness. Let me clear all of this. Let me scroll down. Dr. Alison Lane, the director of Keynes Marine Scientists Institute, contends that means he is of the view that we need marine parks for scientific research. She argues that much of our knowledge of marine mammals comes from studies which were undertaken at the marine parks. The knowledge which is obtained at marine parks, so this argument goes, can be useful for planning conservation of marine mammal species. However, as Jones 1991 explains, park research is only useful for understanding captive animals and is not useful for learning about animals in the wild. So over here also, the writer is presenting the opponent's point of view, right? And then rejecting the opponent's point of view from here, quoting somebody else who is an expert, right? And then he says that actually it's useful, maybe useful for animals in captivity rather than animals in wild. So their diets are different. They have significantly lower lifespans. They are more prone to disease. In addition, marine mammals in dolphin parks are trained, and this means that their patterns of social behavior are changed. Therefore, research undertaking at marine parks is generally not reliable. So he's rejecting the argument over here also. Now let me scroll down further. Let me clear all of this. It is contention of the Marine Park Owners Association. Let me add a student here. It is the contention of the Marine Park Owners Association that marine parks attract a lot of foreign tourists. That point of view, their point of view is that it attracts lots of, a lot of foreign tourists, right? This position goes on to assert that these tourists spend, and he's explaining their assertion, their claim, a lot of money increasing our foreign exchange. So it increases foreign exchange, assisting our national balance of payment. Now, this is the point being presented by opponents, okay, like the Marine Park Owners Association. And then he is refuting their points by presenting his logic. However, foreign tourists would still come to Australia if the parks were closed down. Indeed, surveys of overseas tourists show that they come here for a variety of other reasons, not to visit places like marine parks and all that. Let me scroll down, clear the markings. Let me add a student also. Tourists come here to see our native wildlife in its natural environment, not to see it in cages and cement pools. They can see animals in those conditions in their own countries. Furthermore, we should be promoting our beautiful natural environment to tourists, not the ugly concrete marine park venues. Now, see, once again, he's presenting facts and rejecting what? The opponent's point of view. Dolphin parks are unnecessarily and cruel. From here, he is presenting his own points, supporting details, right, to support that such institutions should be prohibited. Dolphin parks are unnecessary cruel and cruel. The dolphins and whales in these parks are kept in very small, cramped ponds, whereas in the wild they are used to roaming long distances across the seas. Furthermore, the concrete walls of the pools interfere with the animals' sonar system of communication. In addition, keeping them in pools is a terrible restriction of the freedom of fellow creatures who may have very high level of intelligence and sophisticated language ability. Moreover, please note the use of transitions whenever he's presenting an additional point or the additional support, right? He's using furthermore in addition. Moreover, there are many documented cases of marine mammals helping humans who are in danger at sea or helping fishermen with their work. So these all arguments are being presented to support the view that such institutions should be prohibited. In conclusion, these parks should be closed, and we have a concluding paragraph here at very last, and no new animals should be captured for marine parks in the future. Our society is no longer prepared to tolerate unnecessary cruelty to animals for science and entertainment. If we continue with our past crimes against these creatures, we will be remembered as cruel and inhuman by the generations of the future. So that's a conclusion based on all the support, based on the rejection of all opponents' point of view or their arguments. And this is how you have to write an argumentative essay. Please note down the source over here mentioned. Now, let me sum it up. It means that we have to have an introductory paragraph. Then we need to have paragraphs in which we must refute opponents' point of view on the issue, whatever issue is being debated, right? Okay, then we can have a paragraph in which we are presenting our point of view, and then finally we need to have a concluding paragraph. We got to use transitions where we are refuting opponent's point of view. We got to use transitions which show contrast, for example but, however, and all that, right? And where we are adding points presenting supporting details, right, we can use transitions like furthermore, in addition, moreover, right? So transitions are to be used wisely, right, in the accurate manner. I hope students you have understood how to write an argumentative essay. If you have any question, you can ask me uh, after the lecture. Thank you.